The knife slid into my back like a lover's whisper. Cold and intimate. Right between the third and fourth ribs, where no vest could save me. I remember the wet gasp that escaped my lips. The way the world tilted as my knees buckled on the polished hardwood floor of my own goddamn living room, the house I'd clawed my way into owning after Dad's accident. And there was Sarah, my baby sister. Her face lit by the chandelier's glow. Not a tear in sight. Just that perfect, practice smile she'd honed for boardrooms and betrayals. "It's for the family, Fry," she said, as if stabbing me solved everything. The last thing I saw was her wiping the blade on my favorite throw pillow, the one Mom embroidered before the cancer took her. Then nothing. Black. Eternal. But eternity's a liar. I woke up choking on my own spit, heart hammering like a jackrabbit in a snare, staring at the same ceiling fan I'd installed myself 2 summers ago. No, not 2 summers, 18 years ago. The calendar on my nightstand screamed 2007 in faded Sharpie. And my hands, Jesus, my hands were smooth, unscarred by the bar fights and construction gigs that had roughened them in my real life. I bolted upright, the twin bed creaking under me like it always did back in that cramped apartment off Sunset Boulevard. Before the inheritance wars. Before the lies piled up like unpaid bills. I was 22 again, fresh out of community college, with a part-time gig at the coffee shop and dreams bigger than the smog-choked LA sky. And the house? It was still Dad's. That sprawling ranch-style beast in the Hollywood Hills, waiting like a sleeping dragon for the day he'd sign it over to me, the dutiful daughter. The one who stayed.
重生. Reborn.
The word slithered through my mind in Vietnamese. A ghost from Mom's bedtime stories about vengeful spirits clawing back from the grave. She'd whisper them to me and Sarah when we were kids. Her accent thick as faux broth, warning us about the cost of grudges. Payback eats the soul.
Con gái, chívese.
But what did she know? She died believing Dad's death was a tragic slip in the pool, chlorine overdose from mixing cleaners wrong. I knew better now. In my first life, I'd uncovered it all. The affair, the forgery, the way Sarah and Dad had conspired to frame me for embezzling from his construction firm, pinning Mom's suicide on my instability to grease the inheritance slide. I'd taken the fall, served time, lost everything. And that knife? Sarah's final punctuation on a lifetime of their script. I laughed then.
A raw,
ugly sound that echoed off the peeling wallpaper. My reflection in the cracked mirror showed Freya Hale at 22, sharp cheekbones from Mom's Vietnamese side. Dad's ice blue eyes that could freeze a room. No wrinkles from prison stress. No tattoo from that dumb fling with Jake the biker. Just potential, ripe for the plucking or the poisoning. I had one shot. No more playing the good girl, the fixer, the scapegoat. This time, I'd rewrite the ending. I'd let them come for me, invite the wolves to the door, then slam it on their tails with receipts and red lights rolling. First things first, documentation. I grabbed my ancient flip phone, God, how I'd forgotten the brick feel of it, and started a voice memo. Date, June 15th, 2007. Freya Hale, age 22, confirming baseline. House at 1427, Laurel Canyon Boulevard, still in probate under Richard Hale's estate. No will filed yet. Suspects. Dad, alive. Scheming. Sarah, 16, budding sociopath. Plan. Infiltrate. Record. Eviscerate. I hit save. Then dug out the shoebox of Mom's old journals from under the bed. Her elegant script spilled secrets I'd missed before. Dad's gambling debts. The business partner who vanished after wiring cash. Sarah's early lies about stolen jewelry to cover her shoplifting. Buried deep. A Polaroid of Dad with a brunette, not Mom, arms tangled in what looked like the pool house. The secret they'd buried under my feet. By noon, I was at the public library, maxing out their ancient computers to research property law, hidden cams, and revenge porn statutes. Wait. No.
Not that.
Legit recordings. The kind that held up in California courts. I printed eviction notices, lease templates, even a dummy LLC for Hale Legacy Properties. Cost me $20 in quarters, but it felt like armor. Back home, I wired the apartment with dollar store nanny cams, one in the smoke detector, another in the fake plant by the door. Battery life sucked, but they'd catch the whispers, the late-night calls, the moment Sarah started her grooming. 2 weeks later, the call came. Dad's voice. Oily as ever. Fry Bear. Got some news. Sarah's school year's wrapping early, some accelerated program. Thinking we crash at the Canyon place for the summer.
Clear some headspace. You know?
Family bonding. I could hear Sarah giggling in the background. That tinkling laugh like breaking glass. In my first life, I'd said yes. Let them in. Watched them bond their way into forging my signature on the deed. This time, sounds perfect. Dad. Doors are open. Just sign this rental agreement, fair market. Keeps things legal. I faxed it over. $2,500 a month for the privilege of my roof. He laughed it off as a joke. But I heard the pause. The calculation. They arrived that Friday. U-Haul groaning up the hill like a guilty conscience. Watching them unload boxes in the driveway, I felt the old rage bubble. But I swallowed it down with black coffee.
Dad.
45 and still foxily handsome in his polo and khakis. Slapped me on the back too hard. Missed you.
Kiddo.
This place is a palace. Sarah. All legs and lip gloss at 16. Hugged me like a python. Whispering, "Big sis. You're the best." Her eyes flicked to the house like she was appraising a mark. I smiled, teeth gritted, and handed Dad the keys. Welcome home. House rules, no pets. No parties. Pay on the first. That night, as they settled in the guest rooms, my future office and gym, I slipped into the basement and synced the cams to my laptop. Grainy feeds flickered. Dad pacing the kitchen. Phone to ear. Yeah. She's clueless. We'll wait till probate clears. Then flip it. That developer's offering 7 figures. Sarah in the living room, texting furiously. Daddy says play nice. But I hate this dump already. I saved the clips. Labeled them Exhibit A, trespass intent. Sleep came hard. Dreams of knives and pool water. But morning brought clarity. Step 1. Financial squeeze. I started small. Forgot to mention, I said over breakfast cereal I'd bought. Milk they'd contribute for. Utilities are extra. And that U-Haul dent in the garage door? $100 deductible. Dad's fork paused midair. Come on.
Fry.
We're family. Sarah rolled her eyes. Whatever. Drama queen. I pulled out my notebook. Itemizing. Parking fees. Cleaning deposits. Emotional labor surcharge for hosting. By week's end, the bill hit $1,200. They paid in cash. Dad's jaw tight. But I saw the seed planted. Resentment. the fertilizer for their inevitable slip. As July baked the hills brown, I ramped it up. Installed a keycard system on the doors, security upgrade, post ads. Incident. Every entry beeped. Logged timestamps. Sarah snuck out twice for study group, returning at 3 a.m. with booze on her breath. I billed for late fees and odor remediation. Dad's business calls from the den. I piped in white noise. But the cams caught fragments. The books are cooked. But phrase the patsy. Like always. The buried secret clawed up. Mom's journals mention Dad's partner. A guy named Victor Ruiz, who disappeared after Dad's firm tanked a project. Embezzlement. Not accident. I'd confessed to it in my first life, shielding him to keep the family intact. Stupid. Loyal.
Dead.
One sweltering afternoon, Sarah cornered me in the laundry room. You're being a bitch.
Fry.
This is our house too. Her eyes, so like mine but colder, dared me. I leaned in, voice low. Prove it. Sign the lease extension, full year. Or pack up. She stormed out, slamming the dryer. That night, cam feed, her in Dad's room. Door cracked. She's onto us. We need to move faster. Dad's murmur. Patience. The will's almost ours. I hit record on my phone during dinner the next day. Casual as pie. So,
Dad.
Tell me about Victor again. That pool mishap still haunts you. His fork clattered. Sarah froze. What about him? I smiled. Just curious. Family history and all. The air thickened. Accusations unspoken. By dessert, the bill was up to $3,500 back rent, plus interrogation therapy for my trauma.
They paid.
But the checks bounced. Intent to defraud. Exhibit B. August brought the heat wave. Tempers fraying like old shingles. I started the cameras in plain sight. A Ring doorbell. A nest in the hall. Paranoia from the break-ins, I lied. Dad nodded. But Sarah seethed. She started borrowing my clothes, my makeup, leaving them ruined, dry cleaning fees added. Then the mail, notices from Dad's creditors, forwarded to the house. I opened them legal now, as landlord, and forwarded copies to my P.O. box. Leverage. The twist came mid-month. A knock at midnight. I checked the feed. Jake. My old flame. The one who'd testified against me in the first life for a payoff from Sarah. He looked rough. Tattoos fresh. Eyes desperate. Fry, heard you were back in the big house. Need a place. Back.
How?
I let him in. Heart pounding. Turns out, in this timeline, Dad had already whispered poison, rumors of my instability. Jake was bait. Or a pawn. I betted him anyway. Controversial as hell. Recording the pillow talk. Sarah put you up to this? He spilled, said you'd pay top dollar for silence on the Ruiz thing. Jackpot. The secret wasn't buried, it was booby-trapped. By Bill's cycle's end, we hit $6,000. Dad confronted me in the driveway, sweat beading under the security light. This ends now. Freya. We're family. I held up my phone. Red light blinking. Family? Like when you let me rot for your sins. Pay up. Or the tapes go viral. His face crumpled. Then hardened. You don't know shit.
Oh.
But I did. And the real fun? Just starting. September crept in like a thief. fog rolling off the Pacific to cloak the canyon in secrets. The house felt alive now, walls humming with hidden mics, every creak a potential confession. Jake crashed on the couch, my tenant, billed at $800 a month, his presence a thorn in Dad's side. "Who's the lowlife?" Dad snarled one morning, coffee mug slamming down. I shrugged. Buttering toast. "Boyfriend." "Problem." Sarah snorted from the stairs. School backpack slung low. "Slumming it."
Sis?
"Figures." But her eyes darted to Jake like he was contraband, and I caught the text later, her to some burner number. "Get him out. He's asking questions." The billing escalated. A slow poison. I itemized everything. Jake's guest fees, Sarah's unauthorized pool parties, chlorine tabs, $50. Dad's business meetings that reeked of cigar smoke and desperation, air purifier filters, $120. The total crept to $7,200. And I presented it at our family council, me at the head of the dining table, ledger open like a Bible. Dad scanned it, veins bulging in his neck. "This is extortion." I leaned forward, voice steady. "Call it rent stabilization. Or lawyer up, your choice." Sarah fidgeted, picking at her nails. "You're ruining everything."
Fry.
"Why can't you just let go?" Let go? The words ignited something primal. In flashes, my first death replayed, Sarah's blade. The pool house where Dad drowned Victor. Not an accident, but a weighted body, sunk after Dad confessed the embezzlement over whiskey. Mom found out. Threatened divorce. Her suicide was pills laced by Sarah to end the hysterics. I'd pieced it together too late. Taken the fall for Dad's fraud to keep peace, only for them to knife me when the house deed surfaced in my name. Loyal Freya. The family mule. This time, no mercy. I decided on the controversial play, full immersion. I quit the coffee shop, savings from my future knowledge, stock tips on Apple and Tesla, cashed early, and devoted myself to the house. Installed more cams. Bathroom vents, audio only. Privacy laws be damned. Kitchen cabinets. Legal gray area? Hell yes. But in America, where reality TV feasts on dysfunction, who blinks first? Jake became my mole, wired with a button cam in his belt buckle. "You're crazy hot when you're vengeful," he'd murmur post-coitus. But I knew better. He was a means, not an end, until he slipped. Drunk one night, spilling to Sarah about Frey's weird recordings. The backlash hit like a canyon wind. Sarah staged a break-in, windows smashed in the den, my laptop stolen. Cops came, LAPD, overworked and skeptical. MS.
Hail.
Family disputes don't count as burglary. I nodded solemnly, then emailed the chief the footage. Sarah's silhouette at 2 a.m., gloved hands rifling drawers. "Add vandalism to the bill," I told her later, tacking on $2,000 for repairs and emotional distress. Dad exploded. "You're destroying us." In the cam feed that night, he paced the garage. "We end this. Forge the addendum. Make it look like she signed over the house." Sarah's voice. Eager. "I'll handle the notary." Bingo. The scheme unspooled. I confronted Jake privately. Phone recording. "You in on it?" He swore no, but his eyes lied. Controversial decision number 2. I paid him off $5,000 from my stock haul to flip. "Record them tomorrow." Every word. He nodded. Greedy gleam in eye. The meat was set in the pool house. Ironical as sin. I hid in the bushes, Night vision binoculars from Amazon. Heart thumping like bass at a Coachella afterparty. Dusk fell. Canyon lights twinkling like fallen stars. Dad and Sarah arrived first. Blueprints unrolled on the patio table. The developers itching, condos.
Baby.
We clear 7 mil. Split 3 ways. Sarah traced the lines. Fry gets nothing. After what she knows. Dad's laugh was bitter. She doesn't know shit. Victor was a loose end, drowned fair and square. Your mom. She was weak. My blood iced. Confirmation. Mom's pills. Victor's weights, murder. Plural. Jake strolled in late. Feigning casual. Got the papers? Dad slid an envelope. Sign as witness. Says phrase gifting the deed for family unity. Jake palmed it, but his mic caught the rest. Sarah's whisper. Burn her car next. Make it look like she's cracking. Dad hesitated. Too far. But she pressed. Like you hesitated with Mom? The air crackled. Jake bolted then. Envelope in hand.
Straight to me.
We met in the guest house. My setup a war room. Screens glowing. Printer whirring affidavits. They planned it all, he gasped. I nodded. Filing the docs with the county clerk at dawn. Preemptive strike. Deed reinforced in my name via a lawyer I'd retained on contingency. The hammer dropped at breakfast. I served mimosas, spiked with nothing but truth serum grade confrontation. Nice try on the forgery. Guys. Dad choked on his OJ. Sarah's mimosa splashed as she jumped. What the? I hit play on the wall-mounted TV. Pool house feed looping. Confessions in HD. Victor's name. Mom's overdose. The knife they planned for me this round too. Quicker than pills. Jake lounged in the corner. My new enforcer. Envelope waved like a white flag. Billed and delivered. Chaos erupted. Dad lunged for the remote. I sidestepped. Phone up. Recording the scramble. Sarah shrieked. You psycho. It's fake. But the timestamps didn't lie. I tallied the damages. $500 for the window. $1,000 for Jake's loyalty bonus. $2,500 for defamation prep. Total now. $10,000 even. Pay by noon. Or it uploads to the cloud. Family album for the DA. Dad sank into his chair. Face ashen.
Fry. Please.
We're blood.
Blood.
The word twisted like that knife. Blood washes out. Ink doesn't. They scrambled. Liquidating Dad's watch. Sarah's necklace, Mom's heirloom. Ironic pawn. Cash hit my account by 11:45. Wired from Dad's slush fund. Victory tasted like ash. But as they packed, sullen boxes in the U-Haul Redux, I felt the twist uncoiling. Jake sidled up. Hand on my waist. We make a team.
Babe.
His breath was hot. Too familiar. In the first life, he'd been the one to hold me down while Sarah struck. Loyal? Or just another layer? That night, alone in the house that was mine, truly mine, I reviewed the final tapes. Dad's goodbye call to his mistress. It's over. Hale's done. Sarah's sobs in her room. I didn't mean. Mom was sick anyway.
Sick.
The word hollowed me. My own controversial call. Mercy or mirage. I deleted the most damning clips, not all. Just enough to cripple. Not kill. Let them run. Tails between legs. To whatever hole they crawled from. But Jake? I wired him a bus ticket to Vegas. Fun's over. He left cursing, but the door clicked shut like closure. October whispered autumn, leaves turning gold in the canyon breeze. The house breathed easier. Cams dismantled one by one. I walked the pool deck, staring at the water's glassy surface. No ghosts yet, but they lingered. The bill was paid. The record etched in digital eternity, my insurance policy. But revenge? It left a void, echoing with what-ifs. What if I'd let them stay? Played the long game? What if Mom's stories were right? Payback devours. A knock shattered the reverie. Not family. A woman. Mid-40s. Brunette curls. Eyes like Dad's but softer.
Fireya hale?
I'm Elena Ruiz. Victor's sister. My stomach dropped. The buried secrets echo. He didn't drown, did he? She shook her head. Envelope in hand, old police file. Stamped cold case. Your father. We know. But you? The recordings leaked online. Whispers.
Leaked? Jake.
That snake. The web spun tighter. Elena's story poured out on the porch swing. Victor's disappearance, the firm's collapse. Mom's suspicions leading to her death. She left me a letter about you. Said you'd fix it. Tears stung. Fix it? I'd barely fix me. But the twist hit. The recordings I'd leaked via Jake's idiocy, they'd gone viral on some true crime subreddit. Anonymous drop. Cops circling Dad. Already. Sarah's school on lockdown for questioning. I invited Elena in. Brewed tea, Mom's chamomile. We talked till stars pricked the sky. Plotting not revenge, but justice. Call the DA. Testify. Reclaim the Ruiz name. Controversial? Partnering with the enemy's kin. But in the canyon's hush, it felt right, blood not just washing, but binding. By dawn, statements signed. The house, once tomb, became tribunal. November's chill seeped into the bones of the house, turning the canyon into a watercolor of rust and umber. Elena became a fixture, coffee dates turning to strategy sessions in the den. Her legal pads scribbled with timelines that mirrored my own nightmares. Your recordings are gold, she said one rainy afternoon, rain pattering the skylight like impatient fingers. But we need more. Flesh on the bones.
Flesh.
Victor's. Mom's.
Mine.
I nodded, pulling up the archive. Terabytes of betrayal. Timestamped sins. We'd cherry-pick. Anonymize my role. Feed it to the feds. No more gray, this was black and white. American justice porn, podcasts would eat it up. Dad called first. Voice a gravel whisper. Fry. What the hell? Cops at the door, some Ruiz bullshit. I cradled the landline. Feet up on Mom's antique ottoman. Karma's a bitch. Huh. Silence. Then pleading. Come home.
We talk.
Family. The words soured my tongue. The house is home. You're evicted from my life.
Click.
Sarah's text followed. You hate me? After everything? I was a kid. Kid with a knife. I blocked her. But not before screenshotting. Exhibit Z. Jake resurfaced via email. From a Vegas IP. Sold the vids for $20K. You owe me.
Oh.
The gall. I traced it, burner account, but sloppy. Hired a PI on Elena's dime. The kind who lunched with bail bondsmen. By week's end, dirt, Jake's rap sheet, fresh assault charge in Clark County. I forwarded it to LVPD with a note. Accessory to fraud. Check the Hale tapes. Controversial? Weaponizing the system against a lover. Ex or not. But he'd chosen the blade's edge. The climax brewed like a storm front. DA's office summoned us, me, Elena, a stone-faced prosecutor named Vasquez. Her office smelled of stale Starbucks and resolve. MS.
Hale.
These files. They're explosive. But your involvement, landlord sting, smells like entrapment. I met her gaze. Unflinching. Call it performance art. They performed, I documented. Elena squeezed my hand under the table. Vasquez leaned back, tapping a pen. We can use it.
But you testify. Live.
On the stand. The room spun. First life. I'd perjured for Dad, swore the fraud was mine. This time, truth as armor. Words spread like canyon brushfire. TMZ picked it up. Hollywood airs revenge, family feud or felony. Reporters camped the driveway. Lenses hungry. I stonewalled. But inside, doubt gnawed. Was this payback or spectacle? Mom's voice echoed. Soul Eater. Khan. Nights. I wander the house. Touching ghosts, Sarah's old etchings on the banister. Dad's tool bench in the garage. The secret they'd buried wasn't just bodies, it was us. The Hale rot. Generational like bad wiring. Sarah showed up unannounced. Mid-December. Snow flurries dancing in her wake, a rarity for LA. She looked small without the gloss. Hoodie swallowing her frame. Fry. Please. Dad's breaking. The cops. They have Mom's tox report. I buzzed her in. Cams rolling discreetly. Kitchen table. Herbal tea steaming. Sit. She did. Eyes red-rimmed. I didn't kill her. The pills I just
handed them.
She asked. Lies layered like phyllo. But the crack. Dad said it'd be easier. For all of us. Easier. My chest tightened. And me? The knife practice. She flinched. That was heat of the moment. You were taking the house, our future.
Our.
The delusion. I played the tape then. Her confession loop. Quicker than pills. Her face strained. You tricked me.
No.
You tricked yourself. Get out. Or I add perjury. She fled. But not before whispering. You'll regret this. We're Hales, we always win. The trial hit January. Federal courthouse in downtown LA, a fortress of marble and menace. I took the stand in a tailored blazer, Elena's pick. Power shoulders like armor. Vasquez paced. MS. Hale. Describe the betrayal. Voice steady. I spilled. The rebirth, sanitized as realization. The cams. The bills as bait. Jurors leaned in. Faces a gallery of empathy and shock.
Dad.
In orange jumpsuit. Stared daggers from the defense table. Sarah. Beside him. Lip biting. The girl who'd once braided my hair. Cross-exam. Dad's shark. A silver fox with a Harvard drawl. MS.
Hale.
This spilling. Extortion? I smiled. Entrepreneurship. They occupied, I charged. Gasps rippled. Controversial gold. And the recordings? Illegal surveillance. Vasquez objected. Sustained. But the seed stuck. Jake testified next. Flipped for immunity. They paid me to seduce her. Forged docs. Dad's glare could curdle milk. Elena closed. For Victor. For Elena's brother. Lost to greed. Deliberations dragged a week. City holding breath. I holed up in the house. Elena crashing the guest room. Platonic war buddies now. We cooked pho from Mom's recipe. Laughter brittle but real. You're healing, she said one night. Fire crackling. Healing? Or hollowing? The twist loomed. Midilib. Anonymous package, Sarah's handwriting. Inside, Mom's real journal. Not the decoy. Pages tore my world. Freya, forgive. I knew about Victor, covered for Richard too. The cancer. I chose the pills. Don't hate them. Hate the lie we all lived. My knees buckled. Mom's suicide real? No murder? The talks reports. The whispers. Staged? I confronted Elena. Did you know? She paled. Suspected. But Victor, that was murder. Partial truth. The betrayal deepened. Mom's secret. My anchor.
Cracked.
Verdict day. Guilty on embezzlement. Manslaughter for Victor.
Dad.
10 years. Sarah. Juvenile diversion, house arrest. Therapy. No death penalty. No mom charge. Justice. American style. Partial. Politicized. Reporters swarmed as I exited. Elena shielding. Freya. Regrets. Flashbulbs popped. Only that it took so long. Back home. The house felt vast. Echoes mocking. I burned the journal in the fireplace. Ashes swirling like freed spirits. Jake's trial loomed. My testimony his noose. Controversial closure. I'd testify. But donate his cut to Ruiz Victims Fund. Spring bloomed hesitant. Jasmine climbing the trellis. Elena and I, partners now. In law and maybe more gray area love. Born of graves. The recordings? Archived. Not destroyed. Insurance against Hales 2.0. But the void lingered. Revenge won the war. But the battle scarred. Mom's words haunted. Soul eater. Was I reborn? Or just rewired for ruin? Summer returned. A full circle of heat and haze. The canyon reclaiming its wild heart. The house stood sentinel. Deed ironclad. But I sold it piecemeal, condo conversion. Elena's firm handling the deals. 7 figures split. Half to charity, Ruiz Memorial. Half to me, a nest egg for flights from the past. Dad wrote from Folsom. Letters pleading redemption. I was weak.
Fry.
Protect Sarah. Protect? From herself? I forwarded them to her probation officer. Therapy fodder. Sarah's visits started awkward. Mandated by court. Supervised in the coffee shop I'd reopened. Hail brew. A nod to irony. She'd slouch in. Now 18 in body but schooled by shrinks. Ordering lattes with oat milk. How's the vengeance, Queen? First time. I nearly hurled the cup. But Elena's advice. Break the cycle. So I sat. Recorded nothing. Just listened. I see it now, the knife. The lies.
Mom.
She chose. We pushed. Tears. Real ones. Controversial mercy. I hugged her.
Tentative.
Start over. But earn it. Jake's trial was a circus. Vegas courtroom packed with tabloid hacks. I flew an economy. Testified crisp. He sold secrets for survival. But survival's no excuse. Conviction. 5 years fraud. As cuffs clicked, he mouthed, "Bitch." I mouthed back, "Payback." Elena waited curbside. Rental car humming. Proud, I shrugged. Exhausted. The real twist unfolded in autumn. Leaves carpeting the old driveway like confetti from a funeral I'd skipped. Elena handed me a manila envelope over wine on the new balcony, our LA loft. Sleek lines erasing canyon ghosts. From your mom's estate. Unsealed post-trial. Inside, a letter. Dated her last day. Freya. My fierce one. The pills were mercy for me, for the pain. But the lie? To shield you from Richard's dark. Victor was accident, drunk, tussle. Panic, sink. Don't avenge, ascend.
Love.
Always.
Ascend.
The word unlocked floods. No murder. No master plot. Just human mess. Dad's cover-up born of fear. Sarah's mimicry of poison. My first death? Not fate. But fallout. Sarah's rage at my taking the house. A deed Mom secretly willed to me alone. I died for a signature. Bled for a secret that wasn't sin.
But shame.
Grief hit like a riptide. Pulling under.
Nights.
I woke gasping. Knife phantom in my back. Elena held me. Her touch anchor. Reborn doesn't mean unscarred. We traveled then Vietnam. Mom's roots. Hanoi streets buzzed with scooters and spice. Temples whispering of spirits at peace. I scattered ashes, hers. Symbolic, at a pagoda. Incense curling like prayers. Forgive? Elena asked. Trying. Back stateside. Reinvention. Podcast. Echoes of betrayal. Anonymized tales from listeners. Revenge real.
Raw.
Sarah guested episode 10. Voice steady. I was the villain. Now, survivor. Ratings soared. Controversial catharsis. Dad, paroled early for good behavior. Vanished to Reno. Last letter. Proud.
Kiddo.
I burned it, but kept the envelope. Reminder. Not relic. The ending? No tidy bow. Happy's a myth. Life's jagged. I married Elena in a canyon ceremony. Same hills. Different light. Vows under oaks. Sarah as witness. Teary smile. To new blood, I toasted. She nodded. No knives. Years blurred. Kids adopted. Fierce like me. Firm booming. House raised for a park. Hail Ruiz Greenway. Plaque reading for truths unearthed. Jake?
Out.
Reformed-ish. Sent apology flowers. I composted them. But in quiet moments. Driving Mulholland at dusk. Wind whipping. I feel the pull, the what-if of that first blade. Reborn.
Yes.
Vengeful?
Once. Now, whole.
Mom was right. Grudges devour. But letting go? That's the real hook. The shock of grace in a world wired for war. America's rhythm pulsed on. Traffic jams. Dream chases. Family feuds flipped to features.
Me?
Freya Hale. 2.0. Build. Recorded. Redeemed. The end?
Nah.
Just intermission.